Dear students, let us move to the comprehension part of this lesson. The first question is, why was the headman in a hurry to complete the road work? Okay, answer is, the headman was in a hurry to complete the road work because the king was supposed to arrive to the village on the next day. Second question, the village headman asked Mara to keep away from the road workers because. Why did the headman ask Mara to keep away from the workers? What was he doing? He was disturbing the workers. How did Mara manage to draw the attention of the king? Why? Mara managed to draw attention of the king by jumping in front of his procession from a tree. He did this to inform the king about his dream in which goddess commanded to build the tank for river Veda. The goddess' command to Mara was, what was the command of goddess to Mara? It was to build a tank to Veda. How does the king respond to Mara's information about the tank? The king instructed Mara to accompany him next day to his capital. Question number 6. What does Mara advise his son in saving the lake and the creatures? Mara advised his son to guard the lake after he is gone and deal firmly with the killers and to ensure that everything which flies, swims, or walks near the lake must be protected. Question number 7. Why did the visitor approach Mara? A visitor approached Mara to request him to help in building a few channels from the lake to his village, as the crops are dying without water. Mara rushed to the king because, why did Mara rush to the king? Mara rushed to the king because he wanted to save the lake. Mara was trembling at the king's palace because he was worried about the lake. On what condition did Mara make the goddess wait for him? To wait until his return. So when Mara went to the king to meet him, he requested goddess to wait for him. Why did the headman scold Mara? Headman scolded Mara as he was sharing his vision with his neighbors. He was going on telling others about his vision, his appearance of goddess. The appearance of goddess he shared to everybody. That is why the headman was angry with Mara and he scolded him. Let us move to comprehension part 2. What was the significance of Mara's dream? So Mara had a dream, and what was that significance of that dream? R.K. Narayan was an Indian author whose works of fiction include a series of books about people and their interaction in an imagined town in India called Malgudi. So everywhere if you see, the setting of R.K. Narayan's novels is in Malgudi. Narayan rarely wrote plays, and the present one is said to be a dramatized version of his short story, The Watchman. Mara's dream signifies the need to recognize the precious quality of water and the need to conserve water by building a tank around the river Veda, so that water will be available during summer also. In his vision, the goddess stood before him. She looked like a protective mother in every way, with her tresses flying in the wind, with stars in her crown, a ruby as big as the eyes of the elephant sparkling on her forehead, and wearing a garment of gold. She warned that the river Veda at the foot of the hill is her own plaything, which carried nectar for gods and nourishment for mortals. With the coming of summer, the river is withdrawn into the cool glades of the mountains, and people die of drought. The river yet again flows when summer ends. Man, without realizing the precious quality of water, uses it as much as he wants and allows it to waste away in the foul marshes far off. Okay, here the situation of Veda is told. What happens to Veda, how people use the water of Veda, and since it dries in summer, people need to safeguard or the preserve water, conserve water, otherwise they will not have water in summer season. Simply using the water for unwanted things and spoiling it, polluting it is not good. She advises Mara to tell the king to build a tank and give Veda a home and not to let her leave the village. So in summer she will leave the village or she will dry off. If at all the tank is built, Veda can be conserved. The vision of Mara was understood by the king and he asked Mara to accompany him to the capital. The tank was built and Mara was made the watchman of the lake. So whatever was told by Mara, he shared the vision of goddess with the king and that was accepted and the tank was built. And after the tank was built, Mara became the watchman of that tank or the lake. That was Mara's dream. What instructions did Mara give his son about the lake and the creatures? What light do these instructions throw on Mara's character? So Mara is looking after the lake and Mara knows that soon he will disappear or he will die. After that, the son has to take care of the lake. So he gives some instructions to his son regarding the lake. What are those instructions? Let us see. R.K. Narayan was an Indian author whose works of fiction include a series of books about people and their interaction in an imaginary town in India called Malgudi. Narayan rarely wrote plays, and the present one is said to be a dramatized version of his short story, The Watchman. Mara is more than a mere watchman of the lake. He is the custodian of the river. Custodian means he is the owner of that river. Preserver of values of natural oneness, love and selfishness. He wanted his son to possess the same values. Mara instructs his son to guard the lake after he is gone with the same outlook and deal firmly with the selfish people who come to kill the gulls or the fish. Mara performs the role of the watchman of the lake with a sense of responsibility and vision. He considers the lake as belonging to all forms of life and nobody should use it for a selfish purpose. So he loved that lake so much. He took care of every creature in the lake. He did not want any creature to be disturbed of that lake, and his opinion is that lake water should be of use to everybody, even if to every small creature. He never allowed people to fish in the lake or to hunt the gulls which skim over the lake. He strongly believed that the lake is sacred and belongs to the goddess, and according to her command, no form of life should ever be killed. He performed this duty very diligently, very faithfully he did it. He did not allow anybody to touch that lake, did not allow anybody to kill any creature of that lake. He has even let the tiger to quench its thirst. Even tiger he allowed to come and have the water. He considered himself to be the master of the lake because the king had given him the responsibility of looking after the lake, which was the result of his vision of the goddess. He knows how much water he has to give and when to stop it. Even the headman has to ask for the permission if he needs water. Even headman is not spared. If at all headman wants little water, he needs to ask permission from Mara to take the water. So that much he had that love for that lake. He is the king of the lake and the caretaker of the lives of cattle and people. He asks his son to warn the people taking his cow to the lake's edge about the depth of the lake. Mara willingly agrees to give water to the visitors' village where there is drought and the crops are getting parched up and the cattle are drying. So he is very much aware of the needs of the people of the village. He is ready to give water to everybody at any time. This shows that his outlook is selfless, socially inclined, and is an interest of every single person in his kingdom. Okay, he was not selfish that this water is given to my, this lake is under my domain. I only should use it. I should, uh, I should be the beneficiary. Nothing of that sort. No other thought than serving people using that water. What was his main aim? We will go to the next question. Bring out the significance of the sacred spot that Mara describes to the king. Okay, let's know about the sacred spot. What happened at that sacred spot? The spot that Mara described to the king is a sacred spot. It is associated with the holy place described in Ramayana. Okay, that sacred spot is described in Ramayana. He describes the spot as being the same as one where Lord Hanuman stood on the day Lakshman was injured in the battlefield at Lanka. The mountain whose shadow fell on the king was the same as the one on whose crest Hanuman found the miraculous Sanjeevani there, flew with it to Lanka and saved Lakshman. Okay, Hanuman took the Sanjeevani plant from that place and went to Lanka and healed Lakshman, who was wounded in the battlefield. A stream rose from the place where came down the mountain as river Veda, nourishing the people of the kingdom. So from that place, from the where the Sanjeevani plant was removed, there stream came flowing down, and that became river Veda later on. How did Mara react to the goddess when she appeared before him for the first time and the second time? Okay, 2 times goddess has appeared to Mara. So what is Mara's reaction to the goddess for the first time when she appeared and for the second time when she appeared? The vision of the goddess appears to Mara 2 times. At the first he saw the goddess as the mother, a protector. Her long hair flew in the wind as she stood resplendent, bright colored in an impressive way. Okay, she was looking very pretty, very beautiful and very attractive, resplendent, bright. He was moved by her sight and bowed in reverence. So he liked the goddess. He had a lot of devotion to her and he bowed down. He considered her words to be prophetic and repeated the same to the king, who understood its significance and accepted upon it by building a tank and making him its watchman. So since she had a lot of reverence and devotion, he built a tank for the goddess according to the words of the goddess. The second vision of the goddess was a pious vision of warning. Okay, first the goddess was very much in favor of Mara. She thought of the village needs, but second time it was not like that. She was looking like angry, fearsome. She gave a warning to Mara. She appeared fiercely and her eyes gleamed with a strange light. Okay, she was looking fierce, like kind of angry mood. Mara was shocked and confused by her instructions to destroy the tank. What does goddess say on the second time? First time she tells Mara to build a tank, and the second time she tells destroy the tank. He pleads with her for mercy and requests her to consider her decision to destroy the tank. He takes a word from the goddess that she will not destroy the tank until he returns from the king, and rushes to see the king to find a way to save the lake and preserve it for future, even at the cost of sacrificing himself. So he is even ready to sacrifice himself in order to save that lake. Okay, he is so selfless. You saw first time what happened, second time what happened. First time goddess was very mild. She was very much concerned about the people of the village, and the second time she was looking a bit fierce. She asked Mara to destroy the tank. Was the headman justified in calling Mara a lunatic? Give reasons. Okay, many times headman addresses Mara as a lunatic. Lunatic means what? A person who is not alright in in his behavior, a mad person. Was Mara a mad person? What do you say? What is your opinion about Mara? No, he was not. First of all, he gives Mara to hearing at all. Okay. In the beginning, Mara is not heard by the headman. Headman just pushes him away, bypasses him. Right from the beginning, he has been very insulting towards not only Mara but also the other laborers. So, because somebody calls you lunatic or mad, you don't become mad. Maybe the person who is calling you that is not alright, or he has some problem within himself. Okay, this Headman is going on calling everybody as insulting. He is using insulting words to all the workers. Even if he does not believe Mara's stories, it is not necessary to be so harsh towards Mara. Okay. Headman never believed in Mara, but was there a need for him to call him lunatic? No. If you believe or if you don't listen to my words, that is not my problem. Okay, you can give up, but no need to call somebody a mad person. He even goes to the extent of imprisoning Mara. Moreover, we see that the king has no doubts about the story of Mara. Thus, it is clear that the headman is not justified in calling Mara a lunatic. Okay, there is no reason in calling Mara a lunatic. Just it is the habit of that headman to call everybody a lunatic or a mad person or use some insulting words. Next, nature is both protective and destructive. How does the play bring out this idea? So you know very well what happens with Veda in the beginning, how she takes care of the needs of the people, and later on how she destroys the village. Nature is universal in its providence. It is the cycle in its behavior. We cannot stop or alter its natural process. Nature is both protective and destructive in its ways. Nature has always been kind to man in extending its resources for his well-being. In this lesson, we notice how nature allows the lake to flourish and makes the entire kingdom fertile with its presence. Because of that lake is there, all people's thirst is quenched, and also the water of the lake is providing for the needs of the people, for their crops, for their cattle, etc., etc. All living forms are seen taking shelter and benefit from that lake. Finally, the nature sends her destructive powers to destroy the lake. At the end, the water overflows and even Mara is killed. One can cherish nature's fullness when it is protective and be prepared to meet disaster when it is destructive by threatening to destroy the tank. The goddess is reminding us that we do not have the power to control natural resources and determine where they should go. It is not on our control, it is in the control of God. We are nobody to ask nature. Today, man is interfering with nature so much that nature is also interfering in man's life. And we have no authority over nature. Now, today, nature can do anything. One moment we are here, next moment, nature can do us anything. Natural disasters today we might have seen how they cause dangers and sufferings, bring sufferings in man's life. So, nature can both be protective or destructive. Next, how differently did Mara treat the fisherman and the visitor? Or why do you think Mara asked the king to make his son, and so on the watchman of the lake? So, both the answer is included in this same answer. Mara believes that every form of life has a right to survive in the river and man should not be selfish. So, Mara's thought is that every creature that is existing that has breath has the right to use the water of the lake. He considered fishing and killing birds to be acts against his principle and wants the fisherman not to fish and remove the fish from its rightful and natural environment. So, once one fisherman was fishing there, so he goes and tells him not to take away the fish. Fish environment is water and the lake, please put that fish back, he tells the the fisherman. He instructs his son not to allow such activities. On the other hand, Mara thinks the lake has no nurture and sustain crops and cattle. And the lake is not only owned by people of that region alone, but water has to be channelized to the dry land. So he not only takes care of the lake, he also tells his son to continue the same, to take care of the lake. Not only that the lake water should be used by humans, it also should be used by all kinds of cattle. Thus his vision is to use the natural resources equitably and justifiably. Mara instructs his son that he has to deal firmly with the killers and make sure that the creatures of the lake are safe. Okay, Mara also instructs his son, continue the same responsibility as I do. I will take care of the creatures in the sea, so you should be. When he is gone, his son will have to continue the good work of watchman in the same spirit. Mara feels that it is his and his successor's duty to protect the lake and preserve it for the future. So Mara feels it strongly that it is his duty, and also his successors, whoever is coming, maybe his son or after that his son's son, whoever comes to take care of that lake should take care of all the creatures those are existing in that lake. Because the goddess had appeared in his vision and chose him to be the instrument through which the lake benefits the people. Okay, because the responsibility of that lake given to Mara by goddess herself. Okay, this is all the comprehension part of the lesson. So any doubt regarding that? Why do you think Mara asked the king to make his son and so on the watchman of the lake? What do you say? Because Mara knew his son and his son's son. Okay, Mara knew that his son knows the responsibility of the lake, how father is taking care of the lake. So, and Mara, he has instructed very well to Mara to his son, how to take care of each creature. Okay, so he is hopeful and sure that his son will continue the same work as he has done it. And in the same way, his son Ganga will also instruct his son, whoever will be in, the future heir, future owner of that lake. He will instruct his son in the same way as he has instructed to his son. So Mara had lot of hope in his son and the generation to be continued in the future. Okay, this is what the comprehension part. Let us proceed for the grammar part in the coming lessons.